Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, my YouTube crew. Or whoever may be tuning in. On this 20th anniversary of the passing of John Gotti, I wanted to post this little video up. Not a long one, maybe not a short one, I don't know. So some people, although they are, how do you say it? You know, criminals, they're in the criminal world. Maybe frowned upon, maybe looked on as bad guys. Well, they're guys that do bad things, and sometimes they do it as a matter of survival and not out of glamour. So a lot of the stuff you see is not typically, it's not, the older guys, it's not typically a glamour thing. It's out of survival. So some of them dress with flamboyancy, they carry themselves a certain way. You have to remember, a lot of these guys, these wise guys, came from less than humble beginnings. So now, through criminal activity, for some of them it's the only route they knew. It's environmental, it's situational, whatever you want to call it. And they end up in this life, and it offers them a living. A good living. Now, these people you really, really can't hurt for the most part. How bad can you hurt most of these guys that came from less than humble beginnings? So, John Gotti is a good example, and today on the 20th anniversary of his passing, I just wanted to post this up. He was a man that carried himself a certain way, right? It was not 100% out of arrogance, ignorance. He carried himself this way, and he dressed the way he did because he was able to attain some type of wealth, and the true character or desires to, how do you say it, appear a certain way, dress a certain way, came out. When the ill-gotten gains afforded him that. That's for many guys, many guys. That's not just him. Many guys are this way. But I wanted to touch base about something because not all these guys are bad guys, alright? I know you got this mob tube thing going on, and they criticize this one, that one, each other, and this and that. I'm not involved in that mess. As anybody that knows me knows, I'm not involved in that mess. I stay away from that garbage. But I do appreciate and respect people that have helped me in the past. Now, I had some issues in the past, which I was able to prove my reputation to be, without going into details, of being a stand-up guy. I had some situations I got involved in, and well, that's for another story. Be that as it may, I did what I had to do. I did what you're supposed to do. I did what you're expected to do. By doing that, I lost quite a bit. I lost employment. I lost my house. Everything that I had. Everything that I worked for was gone because I was also legitimately employed. I always held a job. Again, I don't want to go into details about what happened and crime stuff. This is about a person helping somebody. Fast forward, I take my medicine, I guess you can say. Again, I don't want to go into details. This isn't the post for that. I take my medicine. I do what I'm supposed to do as a guy, as a knockaround guy. I guess that you can say, a knockaround guy. Let's put it like that. You can read between the lines. So, fast forward, I lose everything. They take everything. Basically, wiggle down to a nimble. No job, no income, no nothing. I had a little job. I was able to earn a little bit because I was obligated to do that by the courts, I guess you could say. Without going into much detail, I was obligated to have a job. So I literally had a $10 an hour job. Fast forward a little more, I got some gainful employment. Through dedication and hard work, I was able to land a nice job. And I was making a decent living. decent at best, legitimate, 100%. Never ever was involved in organized criminal activity once I took my medicine. You being careful with my words because I don't want to give you a whole story about that. Um, so there were some people. Now there were some people there was an opportunity to earn some money legitimately in construction, working overnight with a group. There was this opportunity there. It was not a criminal situation, but the background of it was somewhat of the criminal element. It wasn't like an extortion thing or anything like that. It was legitimate work. But who got placed on the jobs, was kind of connected people would get placed on these jobs. A friend of mine who was a captain for John Gotti, well, you know, reached out. I think John was starting to get ill at this time. I'm not sure. He was not sick, but I think he was already diagnosed. I'm not sure. I had to pause for a minute, guys. I had to take care of something. So yeah, I think John was diagnosed around 98 or something like that. So 98? Not sure. 98 or something like that. Not sure. Yeah, I think it was around 98, something like that. But around, around this time, these guys had this job and they were gonna put us to work. But anybody that went to work needed an approval. So let's say one guy has 10 guys that he wants to put to work. You can't just put the guys on the job. You need to get approval from somebody that's involved in the situation. So let's say my guy, Sammy Casero, this was the guy, he's dead now, I can say his name. Sammy Casero went to John's people or whoever was representing John and said, we want this guy, that guy, and the other guy to possibly put on the job. Let's say there's 10 jobs and 3 guys have a whole bunch of guys that they want to put on the job. They pick whoever they want based on what the people that are representing based on what they say, what kind of reputation or needs, whatever it might be. Anyway, to get on the job, you got to convince the guys that such and such should get on the job. So I guess my name came up, and Sammy, who was representing us guys here in Jersey, said, Tommy, he had this situation, did this, did that, did the other thing. He is completely legitimate, but took his medicine, did what he had to do. So I think he would be good. It would be good to place him on the job. So they placed me on the job. I was able to earn, and I was afforded the opportunity to learn some things in construction, not knowing later on in my years that I would take to this and make this a side hustle, a legitimate side hustle. So fast forward to today's day, and I learned from those few months on that job how to do some construction work. Now I earn a little bit on the side legitimately when needed, or when I can, or when somebody needs something. I could basically do anything. Before that opportunity was afforded to me, I didn't even know how to use a hammer. But I had the will, desire, the work ethic, the hustle, and I was afforded that opportunity. So in short, 20 years after John Gotti's death, there is still a positive impact on me because I did what I was supposed to do, not even for their family, not even for their crime family. I was not really with them. And In some ways, yes, but in reality, no. But that's just a short story of how guys like that actually do good, some do some good things for common folks. Because at that time, I was common folk. I was not involved in any shenanigans. I had nothing going on the street. So my dates are a little confused. I'm not that sharp with all my dates and everything. But I lost everything. I was rebuilding my life. I needed that extra earn, and through John Gotti and his people, or whoever was representing him at that time. Remember, we're not in tune to the specifics, to the specifics of who was actually representing at that time. Why would we be? We're basically civilians, not even associates. We're civilians, so we don't know who. But I know my guy was Sammy Casero, who has since passed. July 4th will be July 4th weekend. Sammy died. Not sure what year it is. Sammy died. I don't know the year. See, my dates get screwed up. So, Sammy Casero died probably not that long after John actually passed. So, in short, I just wanted to say that although these people are ruthless in some ways, they are actually good in some ways. They're not all bad. They do what they have to do because that's what they know. So, in short, John Gotti carried himself a certain way because of his less than humble beginnings. So a lot of people that are involved in that life, they don't dress flashy, they dress flashy. They dress that way because it just feels good to be able to put on that nice jacket, that nice shirt, that nice tie, and just go out looking good. I will tell you, because as Italian Americans, American Italians, or Italians from the other side, it is in us. We have a sense of class built in us. It comes out naturally when you're able to attain some type of wealth. It's not an arrogance. It's not an ignorance. It's not a fangul, look what I got type of thing. It's because it was never had. So, 20 years after John Gotti's death, I want to say rest in peace to a true gentleman. Alright? And that's it for me. Tommy Stage checking out.